What kind of gear did you guys use for this film?
Black Magic, I could cinema camera, the Sigma 18 to 35 millimeter lens, the Sony a6400, Canon R50, and a 17 to 40 millimeter lens. We did some cover shots with the cell phones.
Taking the cell phones out of it.
Pump the brakes. Well, this is something that I'm glad you touched on. All right, guys, so welcome to the channel once again. You guys know that we focus on filmmaking. We focus on teaching you guys everything that it takes to becoming a filmmaker, whether that be, camera gear, whether that be script writing, and who best to talk to us about that than these gentlemen here that have been having so much success in the film industry, in the independent film industry. We're gonna ask them questions. If you guys in the comments want to ask, you can go ahead and ask those questions in the comments. But right now, we're gonna focus on a couple of questions that I thought would be interesting for them to talk about. Possibly some things that we already kind of spoke off camera. We're gonna start by introducing each and every one of you guys.
Hey, my name is Vasco Sanders. A lot of people call me Vasco, but it's Vasco.
Okay.
And I'm an actor.
Okay. Now, have you always been an actor, or how did you get into that field?
No, the entertainment business was not for me.
Yeah.
And he'll tell you more about that in a few minutes, how we met and how that happened.
All right.
But
Calvin B. Jackson. I'm a writer, producer, videographer, actor.
A little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything, man. I just kind of just get in where I fit in, help Chris out with operations and whatnot, and just pretty much be the team player, help the well-oiled machine do his work.
Christopher Hughes, actor, director, producer, editor, writer, founder of Hughes Imperial, Triple M.
I want to first and foremost give these gentlemen an amazing thanks for being on the channel with us. I'm pretty sure that you guys have a very busy schedule with, between filmmaking, between everyday life. So we really appreciate for you guys to come out here and just to be able to talk to all of our audience and tell them what it takes, where you guys started, what inspired you guys to do what you're doing today, and how you guys are achieving such great success. Because I did get some information, or I did see some information that you guys got interviewed by Making News, right? So was it Making News or what news station was it?
both of them.
TV 41?
And 13.
Yeah, we did
13,
both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
One was for one movie, another one for another one. Yeah.
So how does something like that come about? How do you get on the eye or on the radar of a news station, in your guys' field of, being independent filmmakers? How does that happen? Let us in on that.
Networking.
Okay.
This is networking because I knew a couple of people from the news, from the gym.
Okay.
And I would talk to them and they, well, we can do this and we can do that. Let's set this up then. So, okay, y'all do movies. This will make a great piece. Mm-hmm. And so just do networking, talking to people. So
networking is, go ahead.
That's the safe answer. He really threatened them. He over the balcony.
He got in there, he was like, yo, who big man coming over here? So it was more of a shakedown. All right. So you have to lift weights. You got to get big. Right. And you gotta get into the news station and stock them in the gym. Now, are these news stations, do they normally cover independent filmmakers, or do they cover mainstream media?
They have before. I mean, with the independent film scene of Macon has just kind of jumped off with the last 5 years.
Yeah.
So we're kind of on the forefront of it.
Okay.
So with us in another county being on the forefront, we kind of like the one that's known filmmaking, and Macon it's become a hub for independent filmmaking in our city. So within the last 5 years, you got different camps. Everybody making movies, so it's a new wave that started. So we're trying to stay in it, stay consistent, put out good product, quality over quantity. That's what we stand on.
And I know you kind of tapped in on quality over quantity, but man, I think you guys are putting out quality and quantity, right?
Thanks.
Every time I get on Facebook, I'm like, they launched another movie, and I'm over here still writing my second film. What's going on? Where are you guys getting all these scripts from? So I definitely admire that, and it's something that I kind of every time I see that on Facebook, I always show love, because just to see someone who's so involved in their craft. Is this your only income? Is this you guys where you guys are getting your bread and butter from, or is this something that you guys are just grinding to make it become the main.
That part.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all still got jobs. we all still work, you know.
Yeah, we'll be over here living with you if this out. You gotta give us a room, man. We help on the light bill.
I hear you,
I
man.
take the trash out.
I think that, you know, it's something honorable to see that, because some people utilize the excuse of saying, nah, you know, I'm working a 9 to 5, so I don't got time for the hustle. So the fact that, you know, to see entrepreneurs like yourselves, that you're just like, you know what, I'm doing the 9 to 5, but from 5 to 9, I'm also grinding to make sure that 9 to 5 doesn't become my lifestyle. So I really do admire you guys for that, you know, and people that I see do stuff like that, I gravitate to. You know, I make sure that I support them, that they feel supported in whatever I can. So I think that's, you know, very admirable from you guys. How do you guys get into the whole filmmaking, acting, all of this stuff?
It started from him. He gonna start out that, and it's just gonna trickle down. That's exactly how it happened.
Okay.
Like I say, I used to do stage plays.
Okay.
With the guy, and after that ended, me and another guy, Arthur Moore, we decided to write a movie. We wrote From the Shadows. It's our first movie in 2019. The way he came in, Arthur knew him, and we needed a guy to get killed in the movie. So he was like, man, I go to the gym with this guy. He wants to be an actor.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bring him in.
Cool. I shook him down to the gym. I didn't shake him down.
So there was some shakedown. There's some truth to it.
So he comes in, and at the time we used to practice before we film, which we don't do that no more, but we was practicing. So we put him in a chair and say, hey, you gotta beg for your life. Man, this dude had a real tear fall down on his face.
I was hungry, man. They had a head. I was just playing.
So when I seen that, I was like, I had another movie in my head already. So when I seen that, I said, if this dude could be that emotional on this little part at the drop of a dime, I think he could be my lead man. And I didn't know him. I didn't know him at all. Like, you know, and that's how he landed the lead role in Curse of a Father, which is our second movie that's streaming now. As far as this guy, we are married to 2 first cousins. So that's how I met him, through his wife. Okay. And when I met him, I don't think we were even talking about movies back then. But when he came around again, we were. So then he came and he was like, man, I always wanted to do this. And I wrote a movie a long time ago too. And that's how the third movie came about, because he was motivated to do that, to finish that script. So that's how these 3 amigos came to be.
Yeah.
That's wild, because like seeing your guys is chemistry, where you guys, the way that you guys just feel, it looks like you guys have known each other for so long.
14, 15, yeah.
But me and him definitely 2019. And, you know, I feel like I got a good spirit of discernment. So when I met him, it was like, I was like, man, this dude is pretty good dude, solid dude. You know, he real deal. So that goes a long way with me.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
He's shown that, you know, even though I slap him sometimes. I slap him. Let the muscles fool you.
You know, but when we met, one thing that you got to understand when you're doing a movie, chemistry.
Yeah.
It's got to be chemistry. And we have been on some on scenes together. And our chemistry is just there.
Yeah.
You know, so maybe that has something to do with how we end up talking anyway and becoming friends, because, you know, chemistry is just that.
Married into the right family, right? I hear that you guys have a new film coming out. Like, what is that film about, and what was the inspiration behind that film?
Well, that's our 3rd film under the Hughes Imperial Triple M franchise, written and produced by myself, and the title is Lines of Allegiance. The movie is basically about the importance and the significance of loyalty. We all have been in a situation where our loyalty has been tested. And it's what you do with that, whether it's a good decision, bad decision. You know, there's consequences behind every decision that you make. I started, it was all an idea back in 04, 05. And I talked about it with my friends in 09. I started writing in 19. I would get on it. I would get off it, get on it, get off it. So when I started, I had my first role in From the Shadows. I said, you know what? I think this is going to be something that I really want to tap in. And now I have an avenue to be a part of something, consistent basis. So once we did Curse of a Father, me and Chris talked about it. I went on ahead and started back writing. I first sent him part of the script that I wasn't done with. I just sent it to him to see how it sounded, how it would look.
Yeah.
Before I went even further, because I didn't want to go further with a whole script. Like, hey, bro, that ain't it. Then I got to go back and do it again. So when I sent it to him, he read, he called me, hey, man, where the rest of it? I said, I just want you to see what I got so far before I keep going. So I kept going, sent him the whole script. And he called me and said, bro, we got something. We got to go and do it. It's about 4 friends that runs a criminal enterprise. And it's a crime drama. It's not the typical, what they would say, hood movie.
Yeah.
It's a crime drama, just like anything like a Power, Snowfall, anything of that nature, it's a crime drama. And it's about, they run a criminal enterprise, but the leader of it, he wants something different in life. He's tired of it. And he wants to take a new path. But before he gets a chance to take a new path, he's set up by somebody.
If you're enjoying this interview so far, make sure to slap the thumbs up and also make sure to subscribe. This interview is actually going to be broken up into 3 parts. So the part you just watched is actually part 1. Next week, make sure to tune in for part 2, and then part 3 will be the week after. And if you've been enjoying it so far, I promise it gets much, much better. We talk more into depth about gear and about a lot of things that these young men are working on. So in order for you not to miss out on part 2 and part 3 of this interview, make sure to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can get notified exactly when part 2 and part 3 go live. You know that on this channel, we bring you nothing but filmmaking content. And with each episode, we're going to just continue to evolve and bring you so much great content. We're talking behind the scenes, more interviews with independent filmmakers, how to set up scenes, what gear to use, and so much more. We hope you enjoy this part 1 of this interview with independent filmmakers right here from Middle Georgia. And if so, make sure to drop a comment down below letting us know exactly what your favorite part was. We'll catch you guys next week when we reveal part 2, and then the week after that, part 3.